What's going on, everybody? It's your man Mike. Let's talk a little bit of tech. Galaxy S10 is coming out in a little over a month. They set the release date for February 20th in San Francisco at the Unpacked event. And why is that a big deal? Why should we be interested in the S10? Why should anybody be interested in the S10? Well, I think the reason why anybody should be interested in the S10 right now is because we're at a point right now where we're starting to see smartphones decline in not necessarily the value of the phone, but more so in the sales of smartphones. Smartphones are getting to the point now where they're so good that people are holding on to their phones longer than they used to. You know, just 5-6 years ago, there was a new innovation like every year. Every year there was a reason to go out and upgrade. But now with prices going up, a lot of the factors are staying the same. There's not really any reason for someone who has an S8 to really go buy an S9. There's may not be a reason for somebody who has an S8 to go get a S10. Just, keeping it real. So why is that important? Samsung has always been on the forefront of changing tech in regards to smartphones. 5 years ago, they put out the, what was it, 5 years ago? Might have been a little bit more than 5 years ago, but several years ago, they put out the Note line. They were the first company with a 5-inch phone. Everybody lost their mind. It was like, oh my gosh, it's so big. But then they came back and they put out the phone that had the curved display, the Note Edge. Everybody, once again, oh my God, yeah. Well, what's Samsung doing? Then they came out with the Infinity display, and everyone loved it. So we saw a trend where big phones became the norm. Curved all glass displays became the norm. Now there's this trend going on where it's like you're either completely bezel-less or you're notchless. It's one of the two. And you have companies like Huawei with the P20 or with the Mate 20 Pro that, they're using the notch because they have the 3D face scanning system up here. But a lot of people, it's either they don't want the notch or they don't want anything. So Samsung's coming out this year with the pinhole display. Now, what that means is up here in the top, they're going to have a little hole. I'll try to see if I can get a picture up here, but if not, they'll have a little hole in the display. So instead of a notch, you'll have just a hole at the top. And that's supposed to be their alternative to the notch. Now, we have a couple of phones that have already come out like that. Huawei has a phone. I think Honor has a phone. These are all Chinese brands. And regardless of where you sit on the Chinese-American politics, they make good phones. It's a shame we don't get them here in America, but that's another subject for another day. Back to the point. So you have Samsung about to come out, and you got to think about price point as well. The S10 is going to probably be one of the most expensive phones of the year, considering the fact that there are going to be 4 different versions. There's going to be an S10, an S10 Lite, an S10 Plus, and then later on in the year, there's supposed to be the S10 5G, since we're on the verge of 5G within the next year or so. So you're easily looking at $1,000 for the mid-range phone, maybe $700 to $800. They're kind of pulling the Apple. They're doing the XR, the XS, XS Max, 10R, whatever you call it, but they're doing the same form factor. They're kind of going in that same direction. So, but why is this important? It makes you ask the question, do you need it? Do you want it? Like I said at the beginning, we're at a point right now where people's phones are getting the job done. There are people I know who still have Galaxy S7s, and they're rocking it just fine because it works for them. The average consumer doesn't really care about the lag of their phone. They don't care about having a phone with 512 gigabytes of memory. They don't care about having a phone with 10 gigs of RAM or anything like that. That is reserved for the hardcore techies. People like me, people like your favorite YouTubers, people that if you're watching this video, we're the type of people, yourself included, that like that type of stuff. That's what we're into. That's what we want. So all in all, I just think the S10, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with it. I'm hyped about it. I'm probably going to get it just because but I mean, at the end of the day, it's innovation. And last year we got the S9 and the S9 Plus. We got the Note 9, very iterative upgrades to the models before last, but in some ways enough to justify getting another one, depending on where you came from. And, you know, considering the fact that we had the Snapdragon 845s and the 6 gigs of RAM and the S9 Plus and the Note 9, we put ourselves in a position where we saw Samsung phones with no lag for the first time ever. Now, if you've owned a Samsung phone and you're deep into Samsung, you know that they are known to lag after a while. No lag with the S9, no lag with the S9 Plus, no lag with the Note 9. So Snapdragon 855 is just going to set that bar even higher. And I think we're going to be impressed, and I think we're going to be very pleasantly surprised by what Samsung puts out. Just buyer be wary of that price, because it's not going to be cheap. I think we are seeing a decline in the smartphone market because we've gotten to that point where if you want a good phone, it's going to cost you a stack, you know, $1,000, a grip, whatever you want to call it, you know, but it's going to be that. But again, you know, it's like I said, you just got to ask yourself these questions. Is it worth it? Is your S9 getting the job done? Is your S8 getting the job done? Who knows? But anyway, so just wanted to touch about the S10. I'll be putting out a few more videos over this, you know, covering the leaks, because that's a whole other video for another day. But we're at the point now where smartphones aren't even a surprise anymore. There's a leak every other day, every other week. And some companies like Google last year with the Pixel 3 just intentionally did it to draw up hype for their phone. And I just, quite frankly, I don't think that's cool. I've been a manager before. I know a little bit about business. I know a little bit about marketing, but to a certain extent, when it comes to a product that you're trying to entice people to buy, you know, you're trying to tell me that the next Mate 30 Pro that comes out is going to replace this one. We didn't know nothing about the Mate 20 Pro until right before it came out, when leaks started coming. But with American companies like Google and Samsung, these North American companies like Apple, there are renders already for the new iPhones that are coming out in September. Already, there are renders for those phones already, which means that by the time those phones come out, we'll probably know everything that there is to know about them. And to me, I don't feel like that's changing anything. I don't feel like that's giving me excitement about it. I know what I'm getting before I get it. And I want to be able to sit down and watch these keynotes. I want to be able to watch these presentations, these Unpacked events, these Apple events, these Google events. I want to be able to sit down and watch these events and be like, bro, did you see that? Oh my God. Like, you know, I just want to be able to just be when it comes to this stuff. But when it comes out, now I'm just kind of like, oh, it's exactly what the leak said. Oh, it does have that camera display. Oh, it does have that. You know, like, that just takes away from the fun of it. So, but anyway, it's your man, Mike. Hit me up in the comments and let me know what you guys think. Are you excited about the S10? The whatever? You know, just hit me up and let me know what you guys think. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.